So hi, this is Vanessa from KO Media, and I'm here with UFC fighter Brad Katona. Hi, Brad.
Hey, how's it going? That sounds pretty good. UFC fighter. I like the sounds of that.
Well, you are fighting soon on May 4th. How excited are you to be back home and fighting for Canada?
Yeah, it's awesome. Being able to go back in December 8th at UFC 231, being able to walk out and in Toronto was quite the pop, So I'm looking forward to stepping out there in Ottawa, and receive that same kind of hometown welcome. Not my hometown, but home country. It's the homeland. So getting that pop coming out is going to be exciting.
That's so exciting. How long have you been away from home now? From your last fight in Toronto?
After my last fight in December, I stayed for the holidays, and then I've been back here since beginning of January. So I don't even know the date today, but it's been like 3 full months,
Yeah.
So it's been a while. I love it here. This is home now, but it is nice going back home to my hometown of Winnipeg for the week before fight week. Kind of inject all that energy back into you. See friends, see family, and then you go into fight week just fully loaded, ready to go.
Wow. Tell me, I know that after you won the Ultimate Fighter, you were the first Canadian to win it. So
won a regular season. There was Elias Theodore. He won, I think, Tough Smashes or something. It was Canada versus Australia.
Yeah.
But mine was the first regular season. So if you look specific enough, you can make an accomplishment out of anything. But it is cool.
That's amazing. So when you were walking around the streets of Toronto, Winnipeg, you were mentioning that you were sort of noticed and stopped by people. How was that? Was that surreal to you, or?
Whenever I'm stopped, I feel it's more exciting to me. Like if someone was excited to see me, I get even more excited that someone's for some reason excited to get a picture or something like that. It's always nice, and especially fight week. The diet starts wearing you down, but that's all stuff I'm not used to, and I'm trying to appreciate it. And I don't know if it'll ever feel real. It's always going to be bizarre.
Yeah. Well, talk us through the upcoming fight. So you're going to be against Merab. Mm-hmm. Have you met him? What's your thoughts on your opponent?
I haven't met him personally. He's a guy in the UFC who I think could give trouble to any bantamweight out there. Because he's a good wrestler. He throws some wild shots. He's very unpredictable, and he uses that well. It's not just about going out there and being weird. He knows how to use that, and he uses it to his advantage. So, on paper you might say, okay, I might have the better jiu-jitsu, better strike, technical wise, but it all matters who puts it together, and sometimes just because someone's better on paper doesn't mean it comes out. Now, with that said, I'm very confident going in. I've had an amazing training camp that's just winding down here at SBG, and it's the best camp yet. I know everyone says that, but I'm healthy. I'm close to weight. I'm excited to go. It's the exciting time now.
Exactly. And you explain and describe yourself as a complete fighter. Can you explain a little bit about that?
Yeah, this day and age, you can't just be one style. You look at even a decorated striker like Robert Whittaker, anybody out there, Israel Adesanya. They have everything else too, and they can use it. Luke Rockhold's a great example. His jiu-jitsu is phenomenal, yet most of his fights are won on the feet. So nowadays you have to be good everywhere, but it's all how you use it. George used it one way. Some of these other guys are specialists, but then they'll complete everywhere else. I think my game's very round, and that way I can be a little bit more unpredictable.
Yeah. So, Coach John Kavanagh have been training you to be an all-rounded fighter since you moved here. I'm assuming that. I know that he will not be cornering you for your fight due to your teammates being in Bellator Birmingham. Can you explain a little bit more about that?
Yeah, when we got offered this matchup, it was okay. We have this matchup. We really like it, but he's not going to be able to be there. It's better to find out when we took this fight. I don't know how long ago, it's 8 weeks ago, that there was a conflict on days, so we could prepare accordingly. And we have. I have my original coach, Curtis Brigham, from the Winnipeg Academy of Mixed Martial Arts back home. We've done most of my pro fights together, and it's only since moving out here the past year and a half that I've been working with John. So he's the best alternative, as well as I have a teammate from the gym coming out with me, helping me warm up backstage and everything. So, it was one of those things where, yes, you do want him in the corner, of course, but this is one of those fights where it's going to come down to small little changes in between rounds. John's presence there isn't going to have an effect. If we end up losing this fight, it's because we should have done something else ahead of time here to prepare ahead of time. It's not something where, fight time, the 15 minutes of advice he's going to give me is going to make any difference.
Exactly. Fair, yeah. Walk me through. Now you are fighting at bantamweight, which is your natural weight class. Mm-hmm. I'm really intrigued. The diet, the training, is there anything different or?
Fortunately, I'm working with the world experts, I think, in weight cutting for mixed martial arts, and in Lockhart and Leith. Their team's dieted me down. I feel fueled up for my training sessions. My weight's dropping. I'm a little bit lighter than I was last camp. Just a little bit to make the weight cut just that little bit easier. Last time it was a decent push. And just to put that buffer in. We decided just to diet down just a tad more, and nothing's changed. I feel just as strong. I feel just as efficient. Everything's. I'm in a good mood for this interview, so they're doing something right.
That's amazing. Well, you look like you look great for the fight, and you're ready for it. So now walk me through a little bit of a fun interview now. What do you miss most about Canada?
Oh, I miss my friends and family most about Canada. That's the hardest part about moving out here. It's good for some things, there's your focus, but it is away from friends and family. I wish, so some of the foreign fighters here are able to fly back to France, and it's like, 2 hours or something?
Yeah.
I wish,
you have to fly far.
It's a journey, and it's expensive. I wish I could go home for $100, but I can't. You're looking at an expensive flight home, and so that's the toughest part. If I could have my friends and family here whenever I want, man, it would be amazing. But it's one of those things where I find being in a different country exciting too. Everything's new. Every small little thing. Going to the grocery store, it's Tesco. It's not Safeway. It's different. And it's exciting. And I do miss Walmart. Sadly, I do miss Walmart, because anything you need, you'll find out at Walmart. And sometimes I'm like, okay, well, where do I find, a bike pump? It's like, well, besides a bike store, but where else do you go? I have no idea, and it's just stuff like that where, as a foreigner, it's small little things, which is some creature comforts, but also makes it exciting. So wandering around here, it's all new, it's all exciting, and that helps mix up training camp as well. It's a lot of the same in and out of the gym, but when you're in a new country, it's still a new country to me. It's exciting.
So lastly, who would you like to thank in this journey of yours?
Oh man, the list is long. The list is long. Oh man, I've been very fortunate. I've had nothing but support from my family, my friends. Everybody propped me up. When I was going to school at the U of M, I had the most supportive group of friends help pushing me for this as well as in school, So everyone knows who they are. I have to thank my original coach, Curtis Brigham. If I stepped foot in the gym at 14 or 15 and it was a bad experience, I wouldn't be here, So it's the people back there who gave me the great experience that I'm still competing now, and then you have to thank your new team, my new team, SBG. They've been behind me. I've gotten more support than I could ask for, being a new member to a gym, and then how fast things change, and as fast as I want to grow, there's the support here to help me achieve that. So it's just exciting times. I can't thank everyone by name, but they know who they are, and I really appreciate it.
Oh, that's brilliant. And I actually know that you were a mechanical engineer before becoming a UFC fighter. What intrigues me the most is, do you see a close relation between fighting and fight training?
Like as being an engineer specifically, how they do, there's many disciplines in school you can go into, and I can speak to engineering specifically, and they taught me, most importantly, it wasn't the math, it wasn't the technical skills, but it was how to think and how to think critically, and then I can use that in my training. I can look at my training schedule. I have it documented. That way we can go back and review my sparring's videotape, so we're not doing anything. We're doing everything in a closed loop. We do it. we analyze it, and then, we fix it, and then we repeat, and so when you're sparring, if you're not videotaping your sparring, what are you sparring for?
Yeah.
To be like, okay, that was a good day, but you have no quantitative analysis on it. What made it a good day? Why was it a good day? So with my training, I can look and see, okay, why is this camp better than last?
Yeah.
Everyone's going to say, oh, this is the best camp, but if I look at the numbers, my conditioning's better than it's ever been. My resting heart rate is lower than it's ever been. I feel completely healthy. I've been sparring with the best guys I've been sparring with. Technically, everything's the best it's ever been.
Yeah.
And I have proof. So like as an engineer, you can't just be like, oh, this is the better design, but why is it? And same thing with the fight camp and yourself. So, thankfully, John Kavanagh, my coach, is also a mechanical engineer, so we get it. We have a similar way of thinking, and that really meshes well,
Yeah.
And the same approach isn't the same for everybody,
Exactly.
but fortunately I found my home here, and it's all fit.
Well, we're so excited to watch you on May 4th. Watch out for Brad Katona. Thank you, Brad. Thank you
thanks a
so
lot.
much.
Yeah,
thank you,
thank you.
Brad.